Merry Christmas. This morning we are printing a few rounds of loblolly pine. This is from a lady from southeastern Georgia, where she and her family grew up on some land that they don't spend a lot of time there anymore. And she commissioned me to make these for Christmas presents for her kids. So kind of a neat way to document family land where they grew up spending a lot of time and have a lot of memories. It's called a loblolly pine. Grows in low depressions. Loblolly means a low area. They're often found growing during river bottoms, sometimes called a rosemary pine because they're very aromatic and smell really great. But you can see that this has a lot of rot in it, these ones that they cut, and so we had quite a bit of repair going on here in terms of making patches and wood glue in order to stabilize some of those pieces there in order to print it. So today, besides what you've seen in the other videos, I want to point out a couple things in terms of how you can print with your feet, and also in terms of paper and having paper that's really ideally dampened for the best results. So I've got my little 1.5" brayer or so. It's smaller for these smaller rounds. You can use a bigger one. I'm going to follow these rings around. Now, the amount of pressure that you can get for printing can make all the difference in the world, and you can see how uneven this is because of how roughly cut they were in the rot. And I did what I could in terms of the sanders to flatten them somewhat, but it's not even close to level. So today, printing with our feet with really damp paper is going to be an ideal way of getting the results we want with a little bit of a crazy, irregular surface. Okay, so this has been properly inked, and I'm using my towel as a register here. So I'm going to drop this to the floor. Now while that waits, clean my hands. A little wet wipe is your best friend here. You can see I've got a piece of, this is Reeves BFK, really nice paper. It's cotton based, and it's been soaking in a pan of water. So I'm going to take that out, let most of the water drip off of it. Then you can use blotting paper. Over here I have a piece of cardboard. It's a little bit of a cheat, but I'm going to lay that down there. Basically I want to take the sheen off of it. You know, I still want it to be wet, and thoroughly wet, but I don't want it soaked with water. Alright, so that got the majority of the water out. Now I'm going to come over here. So I've got the paper and then a piece of newsprint, and then printing with our feet. So you can print with your hands, but it can be really hard to get enough pressure to get really great results on that. And so now working my feet together, really paying attention to the different parts of my feet. You know, you've got the ball of your foot and your heel are the places with the most pressure. So I'm just working and trying to get even pressure across the whole stump, but I'm also being careful not to hang my foot off the edge too much or else it'll tear my paper. Now these Western cotton-based printing papers are incredibly strong, and they're made for this kind of abuse with pressure. And the dampness is what allows the fibers to expand and fill those different relief areas, the depressions. And the moisture also opens up the fibers so that they'll take ink really well. So now I'm just kind of going over lightly with my foot. And now come on in for the results. Before I take off, just notice these depressions in the newsprint. I don't know how well you can see that, but this is really, really embossed with all that pressure, as is the paper here. Now we pull it off, and we've got a pretty nice print of those tree rings. So dampened paper, printing with your feet can be a really nice tool in your arsenal of printmaking. Thanks so much for watching, and feel free to like and subscribe if you'd like to see more content like this. Merry Christmas.